Hello, this is Eugene George, certified financial educator, host of the Money Info podcast. Today, we're going to talk about the last money ancestral archetype. So if you are a person that is super knowledgeable, you're the person that will take their entire day just pouring into information, learning about more. There's a lot of professors, there's a lot of business people that are called infopreneurs, all of those folks that are money Jedis. This video is for you, and I am enjoying the outside because it is gorgeous outside. I think it's like 80. You can't go wrong with that. And we'll talk a little bit more about that, specifically with money Jedi. So there's a quiz. I'm going to make sure I post it below or above or whatever. But as a whole, these money ancestral archetypes, basically they came from the book that I've been writing for the past 9 months. And what I've learned is that not only do we have stuff that's going on with our ancestry, we have no clue that that's really affecting our money, but a lot of it has to do with who we grew up with, the race that we were born into, and then also not feeling adequate enough to learn about money or to even talk about money. So came up with these archetypes based off of interviewing tons of women of color, financial planners, literally any person I could. Started a podcast about it just to learn more about what specifically is going on in the world, particularly with women and their money stories. So came up with these archetypes. Now, if you're a money Jedi, I have a very soft spot in my heart because sometimes I feel like I'm that person, but I'm not really. But if you are a money Jedi, we're going to talk about what you do, who you are, what are questions you can ask yourself, and then lastly, we're going to talk about how you can break out or activate your own money stories. So if you are a money Jedi, you are the person that really cares about information. Now, if you take a lot of your ideas and you specialize in them, so there's a lot of people that are niche marketers. There are a lot of people that really like learning about food, nutrition. That's you. Most 9 times out of 10, if you've taken your Myers-Briggs or whatever personality test, you are the person that really focused on one thing. And sometimes you're really into details, but the point is that whatever you believed in or whatever you believe in, that is the thing that's kind of guiding your life force. So I can think of someone that's a money Jedi right now. I've got a buddy who is in anthropology, rural anthropology. She is specifically targeting folks from Mississippi and understanding like what's going on with their anthropological ideas. That person is a money Jedi. She has taken her whole life and has put her focus into one thing. So a lot of money Jedis are actually really creative when they find what their thing is. Some people, their money Jedi story happened when they were a kid and they loved violin. And so they were so focused on learning all the details with violin that they became a professional. Now, the thing with money Jedis, particularly with your money, if you are consistently pigeonholing yourself, sometimes you won't get out. You won't think about other ways that you can be creative. And one of the questions that you can ask yourself is, what's one of the money blocks that I have? Like, what are those pieces that I can actually do to understand my money? Now, the thing about money Jedis is once they learn money or once they understand their money, you talk about a game changer. They'll change everybody's life. Those are the people that end up, most of them become financial planners, or a lot of those folks, a lot of the people that are money Jedis, they end up becoming really knowledgeable about money and they want to help people with money. And most money Jedis do not want to screw people over. So these are actually like the right people to learn about their money ancestry. And a lot of times, a lot of people that have became a money Jedi, they started learning knowledge because some people said that they were stupid. They said that they weren't knowledgeable about it. They said that they weren't, you couldn't be this intelligent person. Like, I really identify with the money Jedi because they had to use their intelligence as survival. There are lots of people like that. Leonardo da Vinci, they had to use their specific techniques to understand their money. So if you are someone that considers yourself to be a money Jedi or really knowledgeable about the thing that you love, you have to ask yourself, who do I need to ask to help me with my money? That's like the simplest thing. It's like, who do I need to ask to help myself with my money? The other thing is, one, a lot of money Jedis aren't emotional, or they're emotional about certain things, but they don't like explaining their money story. So it might be, do I need therapy to actually write and talk these things out? Do I need to understand my money, or do I need to understand my ancestry? Like, that's really kind of the big thing, particularly with your money story, is a lot of people that are super intelligent, super smart, they don't want to deal with their emotions. That's why they really fixate on being the best at this thing. Like, if you don't understand those pieces, particularly when it comes to your money, and I will make sure I explain that, because that's really important. Like, maybe you do need to be the person that does the therapy. And for the longest, I thought I was a money Jedi, because I would be like, let me study this book. Let me read this. I need to be a certified blank. I need to be this thing. And yes, do those degrees help you? Yeah. But the truth is like, you got to tap into that ancestry stuff to understand, like, why am I doing this? A lot of times, particularly with my personal life, in identifying with parts of the money Jedi, like, Black people as a whole have always had to prove themselves of being worthier than white people. Like, at the core level, there are a lot of people of color, there are a lot of Black people, there are a lot of Latino people that when they get to school, they have to bust their butt because they need to prove to the world that they are intelligent. And that's honestly, you got to heal that part. Like, I hate that part to heal it. I hate to say, like, I am Eugene, I'm African American, and I'm adequate, I'm enough. Like, you don't have to be so specialized all the time. So I know that could be a lot, but just like we talked about with the money queen, like, the money queen has to do with a lot of stuff that's like sexual. When it comes to money Jedis, y'all got to figure out how can you tap into your emotion. And I'm sorry, there's like I'm outside and there's like tons of bugs out here. Here's another thing about money Jedis. You got to get outside, because once you're outside, that's when you're the most grounded. When you're outside and you're writing your notes or trying to understand your emotions, you have to take yourself out of something that doesn't seem safe, which is like a coffee shop or your office, to actually activate your ideas. So going outside could be something that really can help you. Now, there's like tons of different areas, because I love talking about the money Jedi. A part of me, I think I'm partly this, but I think the biggest takeaways that you should take, specifically dealing with being that money Jedi, is understanding that you are enough, and then also understanding, once you are able to be emotional around the thing that you love and emotional around the things that you want to create, you're actually the most creative. So the person that's actually the most technical person, like, you think about Google, or you think about the folks that work in Google. Like, I have 3 friends that work in Google, and they're the most creative people that I know, specifically because they figured out the thing that they love. They figured out, how can I tap into that specific thing? And now they're the most creative people I know. They're the ones rock climbing. I always throw Marie some like positive love. My friend Marie literally works at Google, is the joint, and is like doing all this like meditation stuff at Google's offices. So like, if you are that Jedi, the knowledgeable person, this is her basically. Like, you end up helping a lot of folks. So I do encourage you to take the money ancestral quiz, archetype quiz, because let me tell you, once I was able to understand like how am I aligning myself with my ancestry, who am I connecting with the most when it comes to my ancestry, then I was able to understand, like, oh, here are all the blocks that I have. Here's all the blocks that I have with being black. Here's all the blocks that I have with being a woman. Once I was able to understand those pieces, then I was able to move forward from that. Is it hard? Hell yeah. Imagine being told for a long time because you're dark, people don't want to date you, and then now you're like, oh, wait, I have a life. Yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's definitely worth it. So tomorrow, I was going to talk about the ancestral archetype, or financial planning, but I'll do it tomorrow, probably same place outside. But today I really wanted to make sure whoever identifies with being a money ancestor or a money Jedi, that they really understand that if they're knowledgeable, once they actually put those ideas towards their money, you can help out a lot of people. So yeah, that's about it.